Okay. I'm just going to let that run. Alright, so I'm not even going to know what the code is, and I'm just going to basically wing it and figure it out as I go along. You can see we've got a long entry off of 55. It's probably going to give a long entry here. But maybe not, we'll see. It may come back down again it may put a bottom right down here. That's probably not going to be the bottom, actually. It's probably going to come back down and go lower than that point right there. It'll probably do it into the 930 mark. And then after 930, bounce back up again. So let's see what this gives. It's probably going to give a short entry right here. Yeah, it is. I should go short right here. But let me just try to pick up the code. If this is good, I can use it on the next one. It's not exactly the best setup in the world right there. But if you wanted to just to completely free trade it no matter what, like a robot, you just go short right there. For those of you that know the code, you know I've taught that this most likely is not a bottom. It's the wrong code for it to be a bottom. So I'm just going to wait a little bit. I won't know what it is. We're in a key right now, so I won't know what it is in this key. There are too many possibilities. So I'm just going to wait for the special, and then the temp, and then the secondary, and then back to the bottom, and then back to a special and a temp and a secondary. Just keep doing that. But today's code 2 was easy. It's sitting right there. Oh, and notice from right there, it starts giving you code 1 short entries here. This one's offset by a minute. Comes back up into the top and then starts giving short entries again. Here. 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 It gives 3 in a row. It's offset by 1 minute. You'd have to know that, but you can see that from the previous. Here again. It just keeps giving short entries off of 1 before it starts to drop. Whoa, what's going on? Okay. That's one of the secrets about it, you know. Before it makes a big move, like it did this morning, it'll keep giving you code 1 entries, like 3 in a row. I mean, if you wanted to use a strategy, you could just wait till you see that kind of a setup where it gives like 3 in a row and then take it and then hold it for a big move. You could get that right probably about, I don't know, 60% of the time, 70% of the time perhaps. But make a big move off of it, like, 50 pennies, 60 pennies. Just use that one strategy. Could work very well. It's one of the weaknesses in the program. So I'm just going to wait for the special here. Let me just check it real quick just to see. It's going to be completely different, but I just want to see what how that particular one was working today. Work right there. It worked a little bit right there. And that one worked. That one's offset there by 2. And that one worked. That one worked. But now it's going to be changed, so you can't go by that. I just wanted to see if it was working. Now, one of the things that you could do if you wanted to be more accurate is you can just wait to establish what the code is. So I could establish what it is by around 10 o'clock. Perhaps a little bit, by 10:30 for sure, I could establish what it is. But by 10 o'clock would give me a good idea of what's going to work and what isn't, and then I could be more accurate. So you can certainly use that strategy. You don't have to come out and just free trade it like I'm going to start doing. That'll increase your accuracy a little bit. And if you wanted to, you could find out what the exact code is, and that will increase your accuracy a lot, obviously. But I know some of you have got trouble with that, trying to find out what the exact code is. That's why, if oil picks up like it's doing right here, it keeps trading like this, because it's been pretty slow lately. If it keeps trading like this, I'll just start a trading room, and then, for those of you struggling, you can just rely on me, because obviously I'm really good at seeing the code. Okay, so this thing is already moving up off of this point right here. The further it gets away, the more likely it is that this is going to be a bottom. How many pennies is that? 12 up to 50. It's like, what, 40? It could still not be a bottom. It's still within the range. But if it keeps going up higher, it's going to make a temporary bottom right there. But that probably won't last for very long. It'll probably move down again at some point, like either later in the session or possibly in the next session. Okay, so I'm going to take the special, and then I'll come in and take the temp. And we'll see how the temp and the specials work. Now, again, if I wanted to, let's keep in mind now that this one here is not working. So we're not going to use that. So for the next one now, we already know we're not going to use that. So that's one eliminated. You can also do the same thing from 6 o'clock my time. You can just wait for like an hour, establish what the code most likely is, and then start taking entries off of that, and then hone it down a little bit more as you go along. You don't have to completely come out and trade it totally blind, like I'm going to start doing right now. Like I could just wait and see if this one works, and if it does, I can take the next one very easily. But I just wanted to demonstrate that you don't have to make this overly difficult. Just make sure you're cutting the loss small. You also want a small bar too. You don't want a big bar, because if you have a big bar and you are wrong, then you're going to take a bigger loss. You don't want to do that. Just let the big bars go. Okay, so I would like to see a short entry here. I don't really want to go long at this point. I'd like to go short. Let's see what it's going to give. Okay, that's a short entry. Now I put the stop at 103.49. I've got this thing in the way. Can't adjust it. I don't have enough room. Got too many windows up. Let's see, it looks like it's going to be offset right there. That's a long entry, maybe. So you have to pay attention to that. Even though you may make a mistake and get in wrong, pay attention to what it is. That way you can use it for the next one. Because on the last one, the 20 it was offset by a minute in 20 and 50. So you had to pay attention to that. Now the other one wasn't. The one I'm using right now wasn't offset. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be offset this session. I mean this next 3 hours. Definitely slowing way down now, as you can see. So the time to trade is from like 5 o'clock my time to like right around now, like the 9 o'clock. That's what I'm going to open my room up for. It'll be 5 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock, which is 8 o'clock to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. That's like the perfect time to trade. So we're trading outside of that time right now. Because it's too early for me to wake up. But I'm going to fix that shortly. Okay, so we've got a temp right here. So we got to make a decision. Is it going to continue? Is the temp going to give us a short? or is the temp going to give us a long right here? It could do either one. Obviously, since we're short, we would rather see it give a short entry. But if it gives a long entry, then, basically going to have to go with it. You can see it's so tight in between the code here. But it may give a short entry off of this, which would be good. Then we'd have two short entries. That would mean that it's going to go down. Whenever you have two code 1 entries saying the same direction, especially if they haven't made a big move yet, the mathematical likelihood of it going down is very high. And then when you have 3 of them in a row, then you really got it. Like if we give a special coming up and that gives another short entry, then it would, basically mean it's going to drop down pretty good. Okay, let's see what it's going to do. It might give a long entry right here. We'll see. I can't tell. I see. My charts are all gone. I got too many screens open over here. Can't see what the 10-minute looks like. But I know it bounced off of down here. See, this thing has moved 170 pennies down already off of code 2. So the chances are it's not going, it may come down and probably like double bottom down there again, but the chances are it won't go any lower than that. So it's going to start moving back up again soon. Probably into the 930. Here's my call. It's going to move down into the 930 mark and it's going to bounce and go back up again. Still haven't given an entry here. Looks like it's pressing to maybe give a long entry off of here. We'll see. It's just so slow here. If it gives a long entry right there, I'm just going to let it hit the stop, and I'm just going to reevaluate, and we'll see if that turns out to be good. If it does, we can just always use it on the next one. I mean, even if you just waited a half an hour, you could pretty much establish it, see what's working, what isn't, and then eliminate what isn't and go with what is. It'll help you. Especially good when it first starts too. Like at 6 o'clock, it really can help. It looks like it wants to give it's a long entry right there. So that's a long entry off of the temp. I'm just going to let it go off. I'm going to reevaluate here. Really tighten the code here. Let me see. Obviously, we need to make a move before we can figure out what's working and what isn't. It's going sideways at the moment. Wow, it sure did slow down. Yeah, where's the bottom at? It's pretty much probably going to double bottom down there. Into the 930 mark. It should give a short entry off this special right here. Okay, there's a short entry. So let's see here. We know that the first one isn't working, and we know that the temp is also not working, but the special is right there, so we can mark that down. We've got a special that's working. So that's one, and then we're going to see if this secondary is working. This secondary coming up, it was the code for the last 3 hours. That doesn't mean that it'll be this 3 hours. But it still may work though. So we just need to figure out whether it is or whether it isn't. It'll probably give a continuation to go short again. And then go down into the half-hour mark, and then it'll start to bounce, and then the special probably give a long entry followed by a temp, give another long entry followed by another special, give another long entry, and go back up again. The bottom's at like 12, so I would say it's probably going to double bottom down there, or close to it. Possibly go a little bit lower. Okay, so we know we've got one special here working. That's the only thing working so far. It's just that one special. Okay, here comes our temp. Our secondary. Let's see if I can try to bring up one of these charts here. Where are they at? Let's see. Okay, I gotta figure out where I can put this stuff. Okay. You can see what's happened. It's come way down off the code 2 here. It's come way down. It's going to probably make its final bottom here in 5 minutes. And it's either going to double bottom here, or it's going to go slightly lower. and then it's going to start bouncing. Okay, that's a long off the temp right there, off the secondary. That's a long entry. We'll see if that works. I'm not going to take it yet because it's too risky. We're in a capitulation situation here. It's going to make its final move and capitulate, and then before it moves back up. Now, it could have already done it. That could be its capitulation right there. And that's a long entry. But if that works, we can just use it on the next one. It could also be offset. That could be it right there. Yeah, see, I traded this time for a long time because I'm in this time zone where it's easy for me to trade, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. But it's just getting too slow now around this time. So the place to trade is here. Oops. Is here in the morning starting at 5. You can see at 5 it starts to make some good moves, and then it comes into the 6, and of course that's where the big moves are at. And that's it. I mean, that's where all the money's at right there. And today's code 2 is pretty easy, so I mean, it's could have hit a big trade this morning. But like the other day, what I don't remember what day it was the other day. Maybe yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was only good for like 70 pennies, 70 ticks. So it wasn't moving the normal 100 that it does. Okay, so we've already eliminated the first one. Is no good. The second one is no good. Let's see. The third one is also no good. The fourth one is good. I'm still waiting on this one here to see if it's any good. Still can't tell. From the way it's acting right now, it looks like it's going to set in the bottom here. Unless it makes a dive here real quick. That's almost a double bottom on the 10-minute. Now, if the first one had been good, we could use it right now. But the first one wasn't any good, so sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But if it is, then you could use it right here. You could catch a bottom right here. But since the first one didn't work, I can't use it. Let's see what did work. The only thing that really worked was so we'd have to wait a little while. Of course, this one right here may work. No, nope, nope. It's going to take a dive. Here comes the capitulation. You can see it's offset by 1 minute. Let's take a look. Let's take a look if we find that pattern. No. Nope. It could be a couple minutes though. It looks like there might be a key though. There very could be a key there. Could be here. Could be here. Could even be here. But we won't be able to establish that for a little while. Let's see. On the was the 18th temp. Possibly a 12. Yeah. When it moves back up, we'll use that code to see if we can't catch the bottom, because there's a good chance that we will. It didn't work there, but it probably will work off the bottom. This could be it right there. This could be the bottom right here. We gotta wait for this key to go by, because I don't know what the keys are yet. And we'll take the next special. Assuming it gives a long entry, of course. I only want to go long now. I don't want to go short anymore. And by the way, for those of you who got the code and everything, and look at the charts. If you look at the charting area, charting service, you'll see that 170 pennies is basically topped out. You know, it went down 170 pennies on code 2. That's like that's like the top of the range as far as it goes. Sometimes you'll see it go 180, sometimes even 200, but mathematically that only happens maybe 5% of the time. So mathematically, it's going to start bouncing here. May come down for one final capitulation. See, watch. It's starting to come down. Watch this. See here? It's coming down into that. That's going to be its final capitulation. Then we're going to catch it off the special. I'm going to take the special going back up. So I need to keep track of this now. 20 is good. 20. That's no good. This is probably it right here. Probably the bottom. And if it is, it'll give us an entry somewhere, somewhere around here or so, off the special. To go long. It should go up quite a bit, so. Got a long ways to go back up. I don't know how far it'll go, but I would say it would go to at least 103.80, if not more. Yep. If that's it right there, that's a long. If that's it. If I was in a real gambling mood, I'd take it long right there, because you got a correlation here. But I can increase my mathematics a little bit by taking the special instead. So it came down to 20, and the bottom was at 12, so it almost double bottom. 8 pennies from the bottom, as I called previously that it was going to do that. So now I'm calling that is the bottom, and it's going to start moving up here. But let's just follow the code. Okay, we got a special here. It looks like it's setting up to go long. I'm about to take it. There we are. Okay, stop is going to be, I'm going to put it at the bottom down there at 103.19. Oh, all these windows are in the way. Oh man, I can't do it like this. Come on, come on. $103.19, correct? Yep. Okay. I need more room over here. And now most likely it'll give a long off the temp as well. So marking this stuff down, got a 40. Take a look here. 25. Just want to keep track, of what's working, what's not. So as we come around, again, you'll know what was working. So you can just focus in on those, and just stay away from what isn't. I don't want to trade a dead market, but if this thing, if oil picks up here and gets, good, especially from 8 to 12 Eastern Standard Time, which is a good chance of that happening, I'm going to definitely open up a trading room, help all of you out, since I'm really good at seeing the code and stuff. And I'll be able to help all of you out. Plus I know the larger code, where I can know the chart code basically. It's hard for me to teach you that because this comes from a lot of experience. Now we want to see this. What was he? Let's take a look. I didn't mark that down. Let's go take a look real quick. What was it before? How did it act? It was into a 3-minute late temp. So we want to watch for that. It may come down into that and then go back up again. Or it may just rip higher. But if it does come down into that, you wouldn't want to break even right there, because that's a point where it's going to come back down and then go back up again. So I don't want to put a break even stop on it yet, because the mathematical likelihood that this is the bottom is very high. I'd say it's about 80%. You see what I'm talking about, though? For those of you who know the code, because I know a lot of you are here that have got the code and stuff. So you see what I'm saying? It could give a short entry right here, right? Just like it did right there. But see, if you look over here, you'll see that that's not it. But you can see what it is. So that's what you're looking for now. It could come down into that right there, very close to my entry, and then go back up. So you wouldn't want to go short right there is what I'm trying to say. Wouldn't want to get out from my position here and go short. Yeah, sure has slowed down since it was this morning, that's for sure. Don't worry, I'm going to be moving here in about a month and a half, and I'll be able to open up a trading room. And we'll just catch code 2 every morning. It's not that hard. Okay, here was our potential code right here. Let's see what this thing does. See what it says. We're looking for the next special. And by the way, the next special that's coming up is the special that was working. So, you know, that special should give a long entry. If it doesn't, I'll get out. Because that one was working. That's the only one that was working so far. Of course, the special I just took worked, but the reason why that worked is because I knew that this was the bottom. That's the only reason why. It doesn't necessarily mean it's working. It may not work on the next one. It's kind of like the same thing I was explaining earlier. If it's a code 2, it's going to give code 1 entries off that code 2. Those code 1 entries aren't necessarily going to continue to be good. They're only good because they're setting up. It's the same thing that's happening right now. And this one right here should be good. It should be a long. If it's not, if this isn't a long and it's a short, I'm going to just exit this trade. Because most likely what will happen is it'll come back down a bit and then continue to go back up. But we'll just take another code entry. I mean, I could hold it if I wanted to, because mathematically it's going to go up. But it's possible it could come all the way back down here again. It looks like it's going to give a short. I'm going to get ready to get out. It looks like it's setting up to be a short entry right there. Or it's just going to rip higher and give a long entry. If it goes down to 103.36, I'm going to exit. There it is. Okay, that is a short entry off the code. Now, what's most likely going to do is probably going to be shallow, though. It's probably not going to come down a whole lot. So let's see what our next entry would be. Next entry was going to be let me see here. Well, one thing it looks like we know what the key is. And did that key work off of there? Yeah, it did. It was just superseded by the temp. That's the only thing, though. And where's that temp at now? Okay, this thing's just going to press up. It's going to go back up. So let's see here. That it looks like, yeah. Okay, so let's go see if we can find a correlation. Yep, there it is. It's actually offset. Okay, do you see how you can figure that out? It's offset. That's a long entry there off the code now. It's because it's not here, it's there. And you can tell right there. So now we know what it is. It's and that's interesting because it's not usually that right there. I mean, that happens sometimes, but mathematically that doesn't happen very often where that actually is the code. But that's definitely what it looks like this morning, right now. So now we at least know what the code is. Let me take a look again. Yep. And I think I know what the keys are too. Okay, let me see. Can I establish that? No, I can't tell what that one is. That one's too close to the code anyway. So I know what the key most likely is. I know it's not this one, it's this one. And it's this one. Okay. So I pretty much know what it's going to be now. I've eliminated everything else. There's not much working today, actually, on this particular one, this particular session, this 3-hour session. It is not a whole lot working, but there is a few things. Okay. So I'll just wait for the next key to come. Next key's coming up a little bit. We'll just take that one. It'll probably give us a long entry. We'll just ride this thing up. And as for this particular code right there, you can see it looks like it's let's see. It looks like it's either here or here. So the corresponding is here and here. It's most likely going to give, well, I would say it's most likely going to, well, it could give a short entry right here, come back down into the key, and then give a long entry again. Or it's just going to give a long entry. If it's going to give a long entry, it's going to rip higher right here. And then it may go up into the key, and then, yeah, it's a long entry. So it may go up into the key here and then come back down. So it would take a short off the key in that case. So I'm just going to wait for the key. Got a little bit to wait here. That's one thing nice about the code. I mean, like, for instance, if I want to take a break right here, I could take a break for the next 9 minutes. Go get a cup of coffee, do whatever you want. You don't have to sit here and watch it. Once you establish what it is. Well, it looks to me like it's going to roll over right here. I think that this is it right here. This is probably it. It's going to come down a bit into the key. Give us a long entry. That's my guess. Or it might rip higher into the key. I'd rather have it come down and be a safer trade, but that's alright. Because it might rip higher into the key and then just keep going higher. Looks like it was going to roll over. Now it looks like it's going to push up. We'll see. See, the reason why these specials and stuff that that we were looking at earlier aren't working is because today there's a key. But on days where there is no key, then the specials all work. So when you see the specials not working, look for a key. When you see the keys not working, look for a special. And a secondary and a temp. Look for all those. But if the key's working, then that's the main one. And it's gonna, and you might get a special here and there, or you might get a secondary here and there, but mostly it's going to be the key. It just looks like it's going to push up here into the key. Let me think about this. If it goes up into the key, yeah, it'll come back down off the key. I'd prefer it to come down off of here now and come down into the key and give us a long entry. Because then I could be relatively assured that it's gonna, once it comes down, it'll go back up and go higher than the previous high. Let me mark that down too. That, yeah, I already did 20. And you got the 15, no good. Yep. So basically today there's a key and there's a secondary. And the secondary is offset. And you can see that the secondary is still holding. That is definitely it right there. So that's a confirmation right there. I just want to make sure one thing. I don't get confused. It could also be here too. Just want to keep that in mind. Let me take a look if that holds. No, it can't be. See, this excludes it right here. So it can only be here. Okay, we're coming up on it. It's most likely just going to push higher into the key, I bet. I mean, the key is probably going to give a long entry. Unless it rips higher into it. Okay, here we go. if it gives a short entry right here, am I going to take this? I'd rather have a long. I'd rather have a long entry. I don't really want to go short here. Okay, here we go. It's going to go long. Don't you dare go short on me. If it goes short, how much room have we got? Down to 20? Where are we at now? 47? And that's squeezing it tight. I don't really want to go short. It could be a tight key. Looks like it's possibly setting up for a short entry, and I don't want to go short there. Okay, come on. Here we go. It's going to go long. Let me see here. If that goes short, do I want to take that? I mean, it's double topping off the 10-minute, but the chances of it coming down very much isn't very good. I mean, it might come down to about here or so. How many pennies would that give me? That would only give me like, nah, it's just, there's not enough room. There's not enough room. I could maybe get 10 pennies off that trade, but that's about it. I'm not going to go short here. If it goes down to 103.43, it's a short entry off the key, but I'm not going to take it. It's a short entry. I'm not going to take it. It's not going to go down very much. It's most likely just going to come down to about here or so, and then move back up again off the secondary. So I'll just wait for the secondary now. I mean, it's possible it could come down to double bottom down at 20, or yeah, double bottom down there, or virtually triple bottom on the 10-minute, but the mathematics aren't too high on that. It's just going to come halfway down from the double top that it just made into the bottom. It's going to come about halfway down, which isn't going to give us much. 20 is the bottom down there for the double bottom, and the top is the entry is here at 43. So it's only going to go about halfway. That's about a little over 10 pennies. And squeezing it too tight. Because once we take the long entry, we'll be able to get our 20 pennies, no problem. So now again, if I want to take a break, I could take a 8-minute break here and just go get coffee or anything I wanted. Don't have to sit there and watch it. It's one thing nice about the code. See, where did I say it would go? 43, that's 23 pennies. Go about halfway, so that's like 11. So it's going to go down from 43, 42, down to about 22 perhaps. I mean 32. And it went down to 37 so far. So we got about 7 minutes to wait. So instead of 32, it went to 37. See, I told you it wasn't going to come down very much. See, because this thing's working by a computer, it does the same things over and over and over and over and over again. Even though the code may change, the charts don't. It's still the same chart. So I know all the charts basically. The combination of the chart and the code together, I can pretty much tell you what it's going to do. Not always, of course, but a lot of the time. So what it's going to do now is it's going to set up to give a long entry into the secondary. And we'll take that long. And it should press higher and go even higher. Go up to at least 103.80. And just to take a look at the setup. What was the last setup? What did it look like? It was a descending short. And that one was a continuation long. So the same thing. Basically it's a continuation code. That one right there is a continuation code. That one right there is a continuation code. So they're continuation codes. So basically it's going to go up, and then it's going to go into the code, and it's going to continue to go higher. So it's not a reversal code, it's a continuation code. For those of you who are really struggling still, just hang on for a couple more months. I'm going to come online with the new trading room in the right time zone. Most likely going to go to Florida. And so at 8 o'clock in the morning, a nice sunny 8 o'clock in the morning, I can be ready to trade. Wake up at an easy 7 o'clock, get ready for 8 o'clock, and trade every day. And it'd be a piece of cake. Florida is nice and sunny almost year-round. I have to wake up to a freezing morning. Let's just hope this oil continues to move like it did this morning. It'd be fantastic. Because it got slow over the last couple months. A lot slower than normal. And just one more thing I want to check. Did it give... Okay, yeah, that was a continuation off of that. And then that one wasn't a continuation. That was like a short and then a long. So it could go either way. If it holds to the pattern now, it's going to go up. And then it's going to give a long entry off the code. Continue to go higher. Let's see what this special says. You know, the chances of it going higher are extremely high. I could just take this special right here. Most likely would get it right. Assuming it's a long entry. But I'll just wait so we can be sure. Or more sure, I should say. It looks like it's going to give a short. No, it's a short off of there. That's okay. That's the same exact thing it did last time. Gave a short and then it was really a long. Or vice versa, it was gave a long and it was really a short. Or no, it gave a short and it was really a long. And that's a short too, but it was really a long. It's offset. Somebody's asking a question, does strategy work on all markets? Yeah, it does. It works on all markets. All futures markets, I should say. Is Jay Lee info at Lee Woods firm associate of yours? I got an email from him 1 minute after yours. No, not mine. I don't know who he is. Okay, so let's see here. It's going to give a long entry, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go ahead and take it. It's at the top, you can see. It's at the top of the chart. And this is like a, whatever you want to call it, a triple top on the daily. But it's most likely going to give a code entry to go long here. If it doesn't and it gives another short, I'm not going to take it because it's just the mathematics of it coming down is just not very good. We really want to get a long entry here. I mean, if it gives a short entry right here, it's probably just going to come down again just a little bit. It's just not worth it to risk it. There we go. It's going to go long. It's long. Okay, see, I just bought the top of the chart right there because the code 1 just gave me an entry. Hold on, it's getting a little radical here. If it goes back down, we get out. Take a small loss. I don't have time to set a stop. 103.46. I'm going to get back out. Just caught me. You know, it's possible I could be wrong on that code, so you don't want to write it down. Okay, I'm out. Okay, so let me go take a look now and see what is going wrong there. It could be there, and it could be there. Let me go back and look. Okay, I do have a correlation right there. What about there? Yes, I do. That could be it. Let me take a look. That could be it. And it could be there too. Let me take a look. Yep, that one's a correlation too. What about there? Yeah, that's a correlation too. I've got two correlations. I don't know which one's which. So, but at least I've got two possibilities now. Let me write that down. It's either this and this, or it's this and this. Okay, let me go back and take a look again. Okay. Yeah, that one's good. That one's also good. That one's good. And that one's also good. So they're both good. I don't know which one is the code, but at least we've got that narrowed down now. We know it's not that. Okay, we should be able to figure out here which one it's going to be, because it's either going to break here or it's going to break here soon enough. It's going to go one way or another. Then we'll be able to establish which one's the right one. Because see, over here, they're both going the same way. Each one. This one's given a short. This one's given a short. This one's given a this one's given a long. This one's given a long. So you can't tell which one's which. They're both going the same way. But this one's opposite. This one's given a long. This one's given a short. So one of them is going to get negated here. Then we're going to know for sure what the code is. And then what about the key? The key worked, but it was tight. How much was that good for? 43 down to 37, 6 pennies. It was tight, but that's still good though. And that one was really good, and that one was really good. So we're still going to use that key. Still going to use the key, and I've got it narrowed down now mathematically to it's either that the code is either a temp or it's a secondary. Can't tell which. It's probably going to be this temp. And you can see that secondary gave a long entry right there too. Yeah. So our next one is going to be the key coming up. Yeah, see, that's not normally the code. I mean, this does happen once in, it does happen, but They're throwing in a little curveball today because normally that's not the code. Normally that's not the code either. So both of them normally aren't the code. They're throwing a little curveball in today. Just to make sure, take a look at that. Make sure. Nope, that's no good. See how dicey it is. It's Wednesday. Let's go back and look and see what code 2 was yesterday. How much was it good for? For 80 down to 40. It's good for like 40 pennies. 40 pennies yesterday. You write that down. We're going to get a chance to hit the code 2 today. See if we can hit it. Okay, key coming up soon. We'll take this key entry. Just because the only thing I don't want it to do is give me a short entry again. I want it to give me a long entry, obviously. But it most likely will. It's been messing around here for long enough. It'll finally is going to break higher. It'd be nice though for it to come down like here into the key and then give a long entry. That would be perfect. Like this last one would have been perfect, except for it gave a short entry instead. Like right there, that would have been a perfect long entry to go up and break higher. Instead it gave a short entry. Now it's just messing around with the top. Want it to come down to here, give a long entry into the key, then it'll go back up and break. If it does break higher before the key, it'll probably give a continuation. It'll give a long entry into the key to continue to go higher. I'm getting some questions, but their questions are coming in all messed up. This thing's not keeping the questions right. I don't know. Are you doing something mathematical? Yeah, the code is all mathematical. The whole code that's all it is math. It's very simple math, but math nonetheless. This is why you don't want to trade this thing outside of after like 9 o'clock, because it's just like 5 to 9 my time. That's good. Slowing down a lot here. It looks like it's going to press higher up into the key. I'd rather get a entry to go long down here and then ride it up once it breaks. But didn't want to play that way today for me. Let's see, that thing is offset, isn't it? Just by... That still may do it. Broke a little higher and then maybe come down. Doesn't look like it though. Looks like it's going to press higher. Almost there. No, you're close, Dan. Close, but not very close, though. One before. You can see the zero. See, this one's working. This one's working. This one's working. That's two. I could have been free trading that right there. Heck, even this one's working. That's three. And this one's working too. Yeah, no, this one. That's three in a row right there to go up. I just missed. But see, they weren't working over here. That's why I wasn't using them. But, okay, here we go. You should just give a long entry here and push up even higher. If it gives a short entry, am I going to take this? Let's see, where did it go up to? Yeah, I think I will. Might be able to squeeze 15, 20 pennies out of this one. Yeah. Okay, here we go. It might give a short entry right there. Hard to tell yet. Man, it slowed down a lot. Okay, take that short. I don't really want to go short, but it wants to make me. So 103.63 on the stop. Tight stop. What's really nice about the code, you can play nice tight stops. So when you are wrong, you know you're going to take a small loss. I didn't really want to go short. I wanted to go long, but let's see what the special gives. Hopefully the special will be a short entry. If it is, then it should go down a bit. If it's not, it's just going to be tight like it was before. Remember the last one gave a short entry? And then it didn't go down very much. It was right there. It didn't go down hardly at all. 6 pennies down, so it could do the same exact thing. Let's see what... And the other one was working. That other one was working, right? I took that one. Yep. So if this thing gives a long entry, I'm going to have to go back with it. We did the same exact thing before. I think it is going to give a long entry. But we'll see. Okay, let's see if what's it going to give. Setting up to be a short entry off that. Let's see if it goes. Come on, come down. It's not acting like it wants to come down. It's acting like it wants to press higher. Because if it was going to come down, it would start coming down. Because it's already been going up. And the fact that it's not coming down, and it just keeps pushing higher like this, and it just stays here, suggests that it's going to go even higher. It's just slowly moving up. That's why I wanted to get a long entry, not a short. But it may finally come down a little bit here. Give a little break and then go back up again. What's my next one? The next one is, the next one's coming up soon. Okay, so that is a short entry. Now it's just a matter of what we can get. I don't really know. I would say something more reasonable like 15 pennies. Let me adjust the exit. So I don't think this thing's going to come down that much. 60, 50, but put it at 45. I really don't think it's going to come down all that much. And then we're probably going to get a long entry off the next code. And I'm also going to place a break-even stop on this in a second. We'll prepare it now. 103.59. 103.59. 59 for a break-even stop. Not going to place it yet, though. Let me just take a look. Because we can just wait until the next code. We don't have to worry about it too much. What's that bouncing off of 43? Uh-oh, that was a bottom before. Yeah, that was a bottom, and so was it down here too. 40. No, that's too far. 40. 23. See, these shorts just aren't working good because it doesn't want to go down. See, if you take a look at the 10-minute. Well, I can't bring the 10-minute up because I got too many windows going. But if you take a look at the 10-minute, you see it's just pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. We're trying to fight the trend right now. Even though the code is saying go short, it doesn't mean it's going to go short for 20 ticks, though. It just may go short for a little bit and then go back up and continue the trend. But hopefully it'll come down into the next code and then give a long entry, which is exactly what I've been wanting it to do. And it hasn't done it, and it usually does. So this could be it right here. I'd like it to come down to about here, about 50. And then give a long entry off the next code coming up. Oh, by the way, which one was it? Oh, yes, it was the, let me take a look really quick. It was, yeah, that one got negated. Okay, so we definitely know what that one is. Yeah, it's not usually the code. It's running off the temps. It's not usually the code. It's just so tight in here. Just pressing up. Doesn't want to give me long entries though. Wants to give me these little short entries. It doesn't want to do anything. And that's a long right there off of the temp. I think it's gone back to if we were just taking these codes right here instead of trying to figure out like here, take that one long, take that one long, take that one long. We could have been doing good. That one's another long right there. But you see from here to here, look at that. It's just so tight. It's because it's so slow, and that's why we need to trade over here. You know, in the mornings when it's really moving, instead of this. Okay, I'm gonna jump out right now. I'm jumping out. It's coming up into the other code. It's most likely going to give a long entry. Let me take a look really quick. Okay. Yeah, it's going to give a long entry. It's going to rip higher into this code. Watch this. Three. And there's a long. Oh man, it just got too slow. Okay. Okay. Let's see. That's most likely going to be a long. I'm going to take the break. It's a long right there. I'm taking it. Let's see. And the stop is going to be at 103.58 on the stop. Going to prepare a break-even stop at 103.64. Not placing it yet. Let me just watch it. This is a special right here. Let's see what this thing's going to do in the special. Is it going to give a long off the special continuation, or is it going to give a short? It's most likely going to give a continuation. Come on, rip higher. That'll be a continuation right there if it rips higher. Okay, it's a continuation. I'm placing the stop now. 103.64. Now we're just going to let it go. It'll either hit the exit or it won't. Remember I said it would at least go up to 103.80. My exit's at 103.83, so we're within the range. Just got to go a couple pennies higher. 3 pennies higher and it'll make it. There's a good chance. I'd say there's at least a 60% chance it's going to make it. Now it may come down and hit my break-even stop before it does. That's possible. But I'm not going to take the risk. It's either going to continue. And by the way, what's the... Yeah, no, we're just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it go. It'll either hit or it won't. For those of you, playing the code, I know you like to get ahead like this, and you see yourself ahead. You want to just get out and take a profit. But the only way you're going to be able to make it at this game is to, take the right entries and then hit those exits. If you can't hit those exits, you're not going to make it. You must hit them. And guess what? There's only one way to hit them. You have to go for them. Can't get scared and get out, because if you get out here and every time you lose, you're going to lose about the same. So you're just going to break even. I mean, there's no way to make money. You've got to hit the small stop, and then hit those exits. Then you'll make money. Now you got to do is just work on your entries. Because every time you lose, you're going to lose for sure. You know what I mean? I mean, that's an automatic mathematical loss that you just took. So you've got to have an automatic mathematical win to offset the loss and come out with a profit. Otherwise, you don't make it. Then you just need to get above 50% and you're making money. Anything higher than that, and you're making more money, 60%, 70%, then you're really making a lot of money. And what's nice about the code is that you can keep your losses small. Sometimes 3, 4, 5 pennies, sometimes just 10. But if you can keep your loss to 5, 6, 7, 8 pennies and hit 20 penny exits, then you make money. And yeah, every time it comes back and it hits your break-even stop, you'll think to yourself, oh man, why didn't I just get out? Why didn't I just take the profit? And you'd be kicking yourself, right? Don't do it. You must hit those exits, or it's a losing game. But you see, I've got it myself protected. I've got a break-even stop on it. Can't lose on this trade. If it breaks even, no problem. I'll take the next code. By the way, what is the next code? And it's going to be a key. And it may, in fact, come down into the key and then give a long entry. And hit the break-even stop. But I go for it every time. That way, when they do make it, I always hit it. It also helps for this thing to be moving more, because when it's moving slow, it generally likes to move more in a tighter range and go up and down. But when it's moving faster and it makes a break or something like that, it just keeps on going. It's easier to hit your exits when it's moving faster. I'm sorry if I can't get to your questions, guys. This thing is not keeping the questions right. The questions are all over the place. I can't. It's not like keeping them in sequence. real close to the, key area here. It's either going to rip higher into it or it'll come down. No way to know yet. We still have a very good chance though. Or I shouldn't say very good chance, but still got a chance. Nope. It wants to come down into it. So we're just going to have to wait now for the next key, which is coming up. And it will most likely give us a long entry again. Let me see here. What's this? Did the last one work? I think it did. It did for a little bit. What about the one before that? Nope, that one didn't. Okay, so we're not going to use that. That one did though. No, so the last one did work. Yeah, we could use that. And you can see it also gave a short entry off the secondary. Should just be following that because they're all working. They're working now. For some reason they weren't working. You know what it is? I just got it. Sometimes they don't work at first. When the code first starts, like from 6 to 6:30 or from 9 to 9:30, they don't work, and then all of a sudden they start working. That's exactly what just happened. See, they didn't work up to the 9:30 mark. Now watch. They all work. 40. This one didn't. Actually, no, they didn't. They didn't work. Okay, let me take a look here. Let me take a look. But that one did. 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 Well, not for a little bit anyway. So now we're coming up into the code 2 time. It's going to get a little radical here during this period of time. But we can take this key coming up and see if we can't nail one. Sometimes when you take the key and you can hold it into the code 2, you can nail a good trade, and then turn around and take the code 2 and nail that one as well. Doesn't always work. Works about 50% of the time, I would say. But still should allow us to get a break-even trade on it, so we won't lose anything. Let me take a look at the 10 minutes so I can try to guess what this thing's going to do. It's hard to say. Came close to my exit, came 6 pennies away. 77, my exit was at 83. Close, but no cigar. Let me think here. If this thing gives a long, if it gives a long, Would it shoot back up? Or does it look like it's going to give a descending short? You think about this. Where are we at on the daily? Let me pull the daily up. Yeah, the daily suggests we're going to go down here. Because it made a big move down off the top of the daily at 105. So most likely this code 2 would give a short entry, I bet. So what we would want to see then is a short off of this key. Let me just make sure something. Yeah, that key is not that good though. It was super tight right there. And it was tight right there. Two short entries were no good off the key. You know, that one was good. And that one was good. And that one was tight. And that one was really tight. That's why I jumped out right there. I think 10-minute is not giving me much help. Let me see here. Yeah, none of them are really any good. You know, it could go either way right now. I can't call it. It could either go up or it could go down. I just can't call it right now. So I'm going to back off this key. I'm not going to take it. And I'm going to wait for the code 2 to come up because it's coming up here real shortly. And we could just take that one. It's good for 40 pennies yesterday. We'll just take 20 off of it. Let's see, is there anything I could use to get into this thing? Not really. Let's see now, if that is the code, we'll see what it's going to give here, long or short. And if I was really in a gambling mood, I could take this right here. But it's risky because we're coming up on the code 2 and it's going to get radical. And it could get radical in the right way, it could get radical in the wrong way, so. So that's one thing that for you code traders out there, you got to know. That's one of the reasons why you want to know what code 2 is. Because you don't really want to take code 1 entries during the code 2 time. because the code 2 will override the code 1. Well, let's put it this way. On this particular one, you don't want to do that. On the other one, you can. On the first one, you can. But not this one. Because it'll have a tendency to get radical. It'll want to make moves like this, up and down. And so if you take an entry here, it could easily get overridden. It might go down, then go back up and make a radical move. Right around the code 2 time. So wherever your entry... Now, it could also do the same thing, where if, let's say, it gives a short right here, it could just drop out. But mathematically, that's not a good trade. It's only going to happen maybe 20% of the time. The other times it's going to get radical. So you really don't want to take an entry like that. It's risky. Okay, it looks like it's going to give a long. Not yet, hasn't done it yet. Okay, that's a long entry off the key. Let's see what happens here. See, as with the clock, as we're going further and closer to the code 2, it's just going to start getting radical. It's going to get more and more radical now. Up and down. .27 was the code yesterday, so we're going to basically follow that again today. I'm going to be looking for 27 entry. Okay, there's a short entry off the special now. See what I mean by getting radical? And it's going to start getting more and more so. Because it's about to make a move one way or another in a fairly good size way, like let's say 40 pennies. It doesn't want to let you know which way it's going to go, so it's going to start getting radical. Going to try to fake as many people out as possible and then make its move. So we've got about 15 minutes to wait. Or 14 minutes now. So again, you could just take another break and go do whatever you want to go do for 14 minutes and then come back. It's one thing nice about the code. You don't have to sit there and watch it the whole entire time. You can take those specials and do fairly well. Those special entries right there have about a 40% chance of making it, which isn't very good, but if you get like a if you see this the daily going straight down, and you get a 10 special or a special to give you an entry in the same direction that it's going, those can be really good because they drop out really well. But unless you see that, it can be risky. By the way, code traders out there, it's making on the daily, it's making its highs and lows off the specials. Now I can't really give a whole lot of information about that, JG. I would be giving away what the code is. This is just a demonstration. I would prefer to give a demonstration in the mornings, but I'm too lazy to get up that early. That's why I got to move to a different time zone so I can get up at a reasonable hour. Okay, so there's a special and there's a temp going short right there. It doesn't mean it's going to work though. I'm telling you, it's going to get radical. That's why you don't want to take code 1 entries at this particular time. Even though we know what the code is right now, it's coming up in a few minutes, it's still not. Still don't want to take it. It'll get because the code 2 will all of a sudden make its move, and it'll override the code 1. But once it makes its move, you can pick code 1 back up again and start taking the code 1 entries again. You just have to wait for it to make its move first. Like if we went short right here, we'd only get that right maybe 20% of the time, maybe. That's just not good enough, obviously. 30% maybe. Now if we get it right, we can make a big trade, obviously, but and if you did go for it, you would want to go for a big trade, like a 30 penny trade. And then keep your loss small if you're wrong, obviously. Like it gave you these entries, right, to go short, and then all of a sudden for the code 2, it just shoot right back up here again. Shoot way back up here, and then give short entry. Or vice versa, it's going to shoot down and give a long entry. Either way. See, it's starting to get radical now? Watch, it's going to get more. It's going to start really getting jumpy now. That both ways. I haven't been tracking it. Let me go back and take a look real quick. Did that stay? And then we'll go back one more day. Let's see. Okay, that one's 2 minutes off. Let me go back one more day. That's why you always want to track this, so you can track it and follow the pattern. Okay, that one's on right there. Let me see how radical it was. Went from 3.5 all the way up to 50. I bet you it's going to give a short entry, I bet. If you look at the daily chart, you see this is huge line going up to 105. It really looks like it's going to want to come down. So it'll most likely go up and give a short entry. Five minutes to go. That last code entry is working. This is the one I took last time. Okay, it should start getting more radical here now. Should start to make some moves. Looks like it's going to shoot up higher to me. 77 is the top. Or maybe not. If it comes down into the code, it means it's going to go up higher. Off the code too. Let's see. Okay, here comes the move. Let's see what it wants to do. Let's see if it does shoot up higher. Where's it likely to go? 77 is the top right there. It might go up to like 104. $64, $74, $84. That's already a 21 penny move. I think this thing's gonna go. I think it's gonna give a long entry. It's gonna go higher. That big bar right there makes it more risky though, unless it does go higher. The chances of it coming back down now is not good. It could happen. Let's see what 27 says. Actually, no, it could happen. It's starting to make a line there on the 10-minute. It could happen. Let's see what it's going to say. $2.67. Okay. It looks like it's setting up for a short. Okay, I'm going to go short right there. It's just short off of 2.7. Stop is going to be at 86. Let me go ahead and place it now. Oh man, these windows are killing me. Okay, let me just watch this for a second. It's getting a little crazy here. Let's see what the mathematical possibilities are. It's a possibility still that 2.5 is a long entry. It's a very good possibility too. Let's see what if we can mathematically. See, I could have just waited until I could have mathematically figured it out, but I jumped in right there. That's a little risky to do. It's a little bit risky. Okay, I can mathematically figure this out now. Well, see this huge bar? This is what's messing everything up. It's this huge bar right here. Normally you don't see that. Normally it would be much easier to figure out if this bar wasn't here. Because this could be a long entry right there. It could go long and just take off. Or it's the tops here. It's hard to say for sure. What I could have done is waited for the break here or here, and took the break one way or another. That way, mathematically, I would have had it figured out. If it breaks down right here, that's going to be mathematically a little bit higher. I got it the right direction. Okay, it's a little bit higher now. If it breaks here, I got it for sure. If this 3-0 goes short, I pretty much got it. If not, I'm going to jump out. I'm going to jump out of this thing. You see, if it goes long right there, it's my entry. I'm going to jump out right there if it does. Because a lot of time, that move right there will give you the right direction. But if it goes short right there, that'll be good. It'll probably mean I probably got it. Oh, I'm out. Nah, it's too hard to tell. It's because of this bar. You don't want to see that. It's too big. There's no way to know if this is it or this is it until it breaks. This usually doesn't happen though. Let's see. I could use the next key to get in. Let's see. Let me take a look. Yeah, I could use a key to get in. I could also use the temp. Of course, we have to wait a while for that one. Yeah, it looks like I had it. It looks like this is it right here, and it's going to go short off of this. I think I had it. I think I had it right. Shouldn't have jumped out. Sometimes it's better to be safe than sorry, though, you know. If this bar wasn't like that, I would have been able to tell much easier. Well, I've got 27 minutes here, so I still got a chance to get an entry into this. It may come back up into the key, come back up into here, give me a chance to go short off of it. If it breaks down to 102.63, it's a for sure short entry mathematically. And it'd be nice if it were to break down like that mathematically to give the for sure that's a short, and then come back up and give us a short entry into the key. That would be nice. Right now, it's technically just a double bottom, so we can't be for sure. But most likely it is a short entry, I think, at this point. So let's see, what would that be good for? 40 pennies would take it down to, well, it would only take it down to about 40. So this thing's only going to go down to about 40. 103.40. Another one that'll work into this is the temp, just a regular normal temp. That will also work into this particular trade. And that one did work the last time too. Let's go back and take a look at yesterday, just to see if it worked. Because usually it does. Well, that one did work, but yeah, it did work. But it did it at the end of the code, so it went back the other way on that one. Usually it goes the same way, not the opposite way. So, but if it comes back up into that period right about here or so, that'll be good. And if it gives a short entry, take it short. The one I just looked at went down, all the way down to the 40, and then turned back around at that point. Went back up. Doesn't usually do that. Still mathematically possible that this is it to go long, but I doubt it. It's right here. Should go down to 103.40 roughly. Let's see, is the special working? No. It's the temp. We need to take the temp. We could also just wait for the right temp. Right temp is right there. We could just wait for that one. That'll pretty much give us a for sure trade anyway. Here. 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 That'll pretty much give us a for sure trade. And if it does that up into here, this area here, we'll be able to make, 20 pennies very easily. Or should be able to. 20 ticks, whatever. So we got like 8 minutes to wait here before we're going to take an entry. Unless it does like it did yesterday and makes it dive down to 40 between now and next 4 minutes. Anything's possible. Then we could take it going back up. Oh, by the way, the code will change again at the 12 o'clock my time here. It seems like it doesn't always change at that time. It seems like it can still work afterwards, but I never bother because it's too slow anyway. This is going to be the last entry right here. It's still mathematically possible that this is a long entry here. and it's going to go up and break this top and go up. But the next code should give us whichever way that code says to go should be the right way. So if it says to go up, it should continue to go up. If it says to go down, it should continue to go down. Four minutes. I'm pretty sure it's going to be down. Okay, technically that's a short entry right there. But I'm going to wait until to what I'm for sure the code is. And that's a good entry too. I mean, what you're looking for is halfway back up. From here to here, halfway back up is right there. Now it just gave its first short entry. Now I'm looking for another one. You know, the code that I'm using here today, I haven't seen it do this code quite some time. I almost thought that they stopped using it. They used to use it a lot, but for quite a while now I haven't seen it. I'm not sure how long it's been, but it's been quite a while. Okay, here we go. Let's see what it's going to do. Looks perfect for a short though. It's pretty much exactly what you want to see. Just don't make too big of a bar. Come on, don't make too big of a bar. Okay, here we go. Boy, it's slow. It's like dead. Come on. Oh, it just gave a long entry. Wow. I don't really want to take that. It just gave a long entry off the code. That must mean that that's the long. I must be wrong about that. It should go up and break that top now at 85. That threw me for a loop right there. I thought for sure it was going to give a short. Well, the code said go long. I'm not going to take it. I don't know. Just seems really risky. That means that it's down here. That is not really. That's a mathematical anomaly. It shouldn't really be like that. But it just doesn't. I don't like that. It's a possibility that it's just going to go really shallow and then come back down. I was expecting a short. See, when it's so slow like this, the code can give you a long, but then just go a little bit and then come back down. That's one of the problems with it being too slow. Well, anyway, a couple months from now, I'll open up a trading room. We'll trade early in the morning and hit. I can pretty much hit code 2 almost every day. Not every day, but almost every day. So it's not too hard. Then you only need to take one entry and just hold it through all the code ones. You don't even need to bother with them. Could have hit a 100 penny trade today, no problem. So anyway, I am going to call it a day because there's no more trades left. It's also possible, since this thing made such a big move right there, that it may just continue in this channel for a while. And it may not really go one way or another until the Asian session later tonight. See, because normally it doesn't make that move. Normally it would have just went up a little bit, made the entry, and then went short, and then gone down a bit, past the break level, and then went down. Made a little exit, nice little exit. But since it made that a move initially, it could just stay in this channel now. Because that gave a long entry, may not break the 85, come back down a little bit, but not break below, and just stay here for a while. That's why you don't want to see those big bars like that. So anyway, I'm going to call it a day. If I would have hit that last exit, I would have been up like 46 pennies, but I was 6 pennies shy. It happens. So I'm gonna go. If any of you guys have questions, whatever, just email me. It would be best to do it that way. Unless I can see some questions now. Let me see if I can scroll down, see if any of you have any questions. The product, JG, is that this is trading by a computer, and I teach how the computer works. In other words, a computer is controlling the movement. A computer program is controlling the movement. There is no trading taking place. Thank you for your time and lessons. We will be in contact. I gave a friend the information about your presentation this evening, and he told me just 10 minutes ago that in his opinion, you are a man who knows what he's talking about. That friend is trading futures for 10 years now with other strategies because he didn't know about you. Have a nice day. Did you discuss these codes earlier? I lost internet before and start the webinar. Just got it. Oh, that was two different questions. Yeah, take care, Andre. You discussed the code earlier. Lost internet before that. Yeah, I did. Well, why does this thing not keep the questions in sequence? It's so crazy. So if you teach the method, could the method be programmed in? Well, I had all kinds of automated strategies programmed up by this Indian programmer that I hired, and it worked really good. But once they started randomizing the code too much, it wasn't really feasible to do it. The only way to do it that I can see would be to you could do it by having all of the strategies going, and then whichever ones aren't working, just shut those off and let the one that's working go, and it'll keep working. But you would have to manually do that every day, you know. And it's easy to see when they're not working. They start losing. You just turn that one off. And it's easy to see which ones are working. You just leave that one on. You could do it like that, but you would have to have them all going and then see which ones are working, which ones aren't, and do it that way. And you could do it like that, but I gave up on that idea and just decided just to do it manually because it's easier. But I still got all those strategies, all those automated strategies. They're very complex strategies. Took a long time for this programmer to come up with this stuff. Very hard to program. But they work really good. I mean, as far as the strategies themselves concerned, the program itself is really good. It's just, it's so much easier just to do it automatic or do it by manually. So anyway, I am going to get going. This thing is deader than dead right now. If you have any questions, just email me. Happy to answer them. I got a whole bunch of stuff to go catch up on now. A whole bunch of people, contacting me, and I've got a bunch of people who have purchased. I've got to go send them they're waiting for me to send them their videos, so I got to go do that. And anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the demonstration. And I could have did better, but some days you have really good days, some days you don't. Some days you have bad days, some days you have good days. I don't really have too much of a bad day. If I do, I kind of just shut down if I do. Because that means I'm not reading the code right. And, I can usually always figure out what the code is. If I can't, then I don't want to trade. And sometimes I can't. Sometimes. So I don't have a good day every day, that's for sure. But most of the time I do. So when I start a trading room, you can count on me to be able to make money. And I'll start that up in a couple months. I just got to move first. So anyway, everybody, take care. Keep in touch if you're interested in the room and everything. And I will end this demonstration now and answer your questions through email. Take care and have a good day.